What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and this is the Amc Gme and SPY Algo Exposed weekly update and preparation video for tomorrow and beyond. I hope you had a great weekend, got to enjoy it. Quick reminder, I will not be live here tomorrow morning. I will be live this week on YouTube Tuesday and Thursday for the daily stock market live stream, and then Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. for the Beer 30 weekly wind down that we've been doing. So, however, I will be putting out an update and preparation video every single night like I have been doing. So we'll just do it like that. So Tuesday, Thursday for stock market live stream. I want to go over the regulars that I always go over here that consist of my snake algo for AMC, for GME, and for SPY, and macro comparatives for all three of them as well. So with that said, let's dig in. On your screen is AMC and my snake algo. Now, real quick, this is going to be hard to explain, but the last two snakes that I've had here for the last 2 weeks, I have not felt very comfortable with them, although they have projected and fulfilled just fine. I was not feeling comfortable with the level of manipulation that it took to get them from micro to macro and to get them to fulfill. So what I did was I went back to the drawing board a little bit and tried something different here to replicate what has been done previously here, and the spacing between the projected candles from the micro to macro and what the significance of those mean when translated to macro movements. And I did that, and I'm doing it now in this way of what I'm calling chain linking for the time being. I know that means absolutely nothing to y'all, but this thing has been an absolute pain in my ass to try to keep up with. Prior to January 25th, all of the micro to macro snakes that I had ended up transferring to macro movement and fulfillment for a period of like 2 to 3 months. And then starting on January 25th, where I have the vertical marker here, it started with these small micro interchanging snakes. Now it's micro to macro, but it was only leading and fulfilling macro movements of like a week at a time. And these last 2 weeks since here, it's been even worse. And I went back to the drawing board, and here's what I've done, just so you know. So where I get my indicator, I clip, and then I pull it out and let it fulfill as far as it will fulfill with no projected time period. And where it diverts and then gives another indicator is where I clip and apply the new one. And I went back and back tested that for the last 2 weeks, and it went ahead and gave me what it was that I was looking for. Something more similar to what has been done previously here. And so that's what I'm going to do moving forward for the time being. I'm also potentially testing out one that I clipped from last week that maybe we're going back to a macro projection from it. We stopped the macro projections here, and I started having trouble here. So I did clip one that is a macro projection. Again, just testing it. No sense even looking at it right now. If it fulfills a few days this week, I will then eventually start showing that to you all out here. But for the time being, this is how I'm going to do things. And I just wanted y'all to know, because I keep things 100 out here, as transparent as I possibly can. And yeah, we go from there. So anyways, this is what the snake is currently indicating. We're still sitting right here at the macro descending wedge resistance. We've rejected off of there twice. If we were to get a continuation to upside right out of the gate tomorrow for a third attempt at that, what this snake is indicating is a rejection if it even makes that move to the upside. But obviously, potential rejection and or downside for tomorrow and potentially the next couple of days. So that's what I'm looking at with the snake algo for AMC. The macro comparative for AMC is from the macro descending wedge prior to the January 2021 run up. I clipped 5 years worth of movement here on the overlay and overlaid it onto current. And I've explained in previous videos that this has never been a candle for candle projection for me. This has been more of a suggested projected path based on historical movements. And if you look at this with a zoomed out, generalized perspective of macro movements, the macro overall movements have essentially followed the path that this thing has laid out for it over this entire macro descending wedge. I think we're in month 10 of it. So it has went ahead and projected and fulfilled that path essentially. So what is this indicating right now to me? What it appears to be is that the move that replicated the January of last year run up was stuffed right here at the macro descending wedge right here, and that it's now curling back around like it did in February of last year after the January run up, and potentially going to make its move and break out hopefully to the upside, and then go into potential replicated movements of say February to May before the next run up occurred May and June of last year. And that's what it's looking like to me for obvious reasons. So that's what I'm looking for from this. Obviously, if it were to continue to potentially follow this macro overlay in this position, I would be looking for a breakout of the macro descending wedge to the upside and get out of here and continue to follow this macro overlay in that position. So that's AMC in a nutshell with the snake. I don't know why I did that. And the macro comparative. GME. Real quick, macro comparative. I am currently looking at the Big Brother macro comparative for GME on to current. And with that, the macro third comes into play right here where we rejected already. And then the secondary upper macro third comes into play at the end of that if it were to continue to follow this macro overlay in that position. What is it indicating? Potentially the same as what the snake is indicating, a move back down, just like AMC's doing, that curl back around. Obviously, this is on a larger scale though, and then the move to the upside for continuation to upside. The snake, what does it look like inside of here? There it is. GME snake pulls have been a little bit different than AMC. They've been a lot cleaner than AMC for the most part. And so hopefully, as long as it continues to fulfill in the manner that it has, it continues to stay clean like that. But it's obviously indicating potentially the same thing that the AMC snake is indicating, which is either a short-term move to the upside, then rejection, or just straight rejection right out of the gate going into tomorrow potentially. And then you can see the yellow on here as well is that Big Brother macro comparative. I'm also looking at macro comparative for AMC. Real quick, let me go back to it. I have it off of here for the time being, but let me grab a piece of it here. This is the Big Brother macro comparative for AMC. And what it is indicating in this position is the same as what GME's is indicating in this position. It's indicating the rejection and back downside, the larger scale swoop around before continuation to upside. Okay. All right. Now SPY. On SPY, I have the macro comparative from the 08-09 correction and crash. That is red. It is in what I've called the extended version. I'm looking and tracking at a couple more positions of this overlay in my private and general tier discords that they're privy to. And for now, this is the one I'm presenting out here until it diverts from this. And that is where we're at within that schematic and that overlay. And its indication is potentially a short-term move to the upside, followed by downside, and then obviously macro downside after that. There's where I had it. What is the snake? The snake here is from 2 Tuesdays ago. It is still fulfilling from 2 Tuesdays ago. So in its current position, I'm expecting it, if it were to continue to fulfill in the position that it's in right now, it would be indicating to me downside almost directly right out of the gate first thing tomorrow morning, and then obviously the curl around and continuation to upside if it were to continue to follow itself in that position. So that is what I'm looking at with SPY, the snake algo, and the macro comparative for both. That's everything I got for y'all, man. I hope y'all had a great weekend. Again, quick note, I will not be live tomorrow. However, I will get an update and preparation video out tomorrow evening, like always on the daily. But I will be live here Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. from market open to market close. And then again, I'll be live here Thursday morning at 9 a.m. again for market open to market close. And then Friday afternoon this week for the Beer 30 weekly wind down like we always do. So thank you for being here. If you made it through the end of the video, do all your thing, like and comment, interact with the video. I'd appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And I will see you all and talk to you all shortly soon, and either on the next one or in the live stream on Tuesday. Talk to you then, y'all. Later.